In part 1, I showed you how a prophet named Sean Bowles built a global ministry by allegedly mining social media to fake divine revelations, and how Bethel Church knew about it for years and said nothing. But today, I need to show you something deeper, something more dangerous. Because Sean Bowles was not a mistake. He was not a bad apple who slipped through the cracks. He was produced by a system that Bethel built, teaches, and still defends to this day. And once you understand the system, everything, every scandal, every cover-up, every silence victim begins to make perfect, terrifying sense. In 2009, a man named Danny Silk, a key member of Bethel's apostolic team, published a book called Culture of Honor. The book teaches that within the church, apostles and prophets carry God-given authority. And if you dishonor them, if you question them, if you report them, if you expose them, you are not protecting victims. You are sinning against God. Think about what that means. Inside Bethel's framework, when a young woman says, "This prophet abused me," and a church member tries to speak up, that church member is the one in the wrong. That church member is the one breaking the culture of honor. This is not an accident. It is a theology designed to protect those in power at the expense of those who have been hurt. Sexual abuse experts consistently point to this kind of concentrated, unchecked spiritual authority as one of the biggest red flags for institutional abuse cover-up, and what that Bethel's own leaders admitted on January 25, 2026. Bethel's lead pastor, Dan Farrelly, stood before his congregation. His voice broke. He said, and I want you to hear this clearly, "The truth is, we did not properly and fully discipline and bring to closure and bring out the truth of a very important situation." Senior leader Chris Valentin also made a public statement. He confirmed that in 2019, 3 former members of Bowles' own team came forward with sexual harassment allegations. Valentin confirmed they received that information. He confirmed they had the evidence. And still, for years, they said nothing publicly. Bill Johnson, the most powerful figure at Bethel, admitted something even more haunting. He said, "I didn't want to believe the accusations against Sean were true. I could have chosen to see through the eyes of my team and access their discernment, but I chose not to. As a result of my inaction, which slowed this process down, more people were affected." That is not a mistake. That is a choice. And victims paid the price for it. When Chris Valentin finally addressed this publicly, he framed abusive leaders in 2 categories. Wolves, who are intentionally evil, and broken people, who are unsafe but still deserve extended grace as family. But here's the question that cuts to the heart of this. Extended grace for whom? Not for the victims who were unprotected for years. Not for the employees who were sexually harassed and told to stay quiet. Not for the young women who made life-altering decisions based on fake prophecies. The grace was extended to the abuser. And every month of that grace was another month that victims went unbelieved, unwarned, and unsupported. I need you to share this video, not because of views, because somewhere in your circle there is someone sitting in a church where this same spirit is operating. They need to hear this. Subscribe. Drop a comment. Tell me, has a prophet ever given you a word that felt too specific, too personal? Let us talk about it. Now, you know about Sean Bowles, you know about the cover-up, you know about the culture of honor. But Bowles is only the beginning. Because inside Bethel's history, there are other men, other victims, other stories that were buried even deeper. There is the story of Bob Hartley, a prophet who used his spiritual authority to abuse young women at both Bethel and another major ministry, and whose abuse Bethel's leadership allegedly knew about as far back as 2017. There is the story of how Bethel took one of the assault cases and turned it into a feel-good story about God's mercy in a published book. They published a book about the mercy of God, while the victim was still suffering. Part 3 is coming, and it is the one they prayed you would never watch. See you next, and don't forget to subscribe to stay updated. God bless you.